Okay, so having a look at Euro USD. Oh my God, this is just crazy. Look at the range bound price action that we're seeing for the past 5 weeks specifically. In particular, the 5 weeks that we've seen is absolutely sloppy. I mean, what we've done here, right, when we ran and took monthly highs out, is we ran into the mean threshold of this up close bullish candle. Now, although this bullish candle didn't close higher than all the other candles prior to that, the mean threshold still matters as the highs was created from that candle. We traded into that area and we sold off. Right? Sold off. It took 2 consequent months just to get down to the lows. Once we did, we ran up, took the prior month's high out, continued to the downside. We still got the 3-pin pattern that created the initial run up into the mean threshold, but we've just been bouncing around in this very, very tight range. And I did mention in previous breakdowns with other pairs that I do believe there is going to be massive pain to come. There is massive pain to come in the future, and whether it's to the upside, whether it's to the downside, we don't know yet. I don't know yet. And if the dollar index was to shoot to the low and take out, man, I'm not talking about intraday time frames right now. I'm talking about macros now. So if we're gonna have a look at dollar index very briefly, have a look at the monthly. All right, I believe we still got unfinished business at those times. The lows has been taken up, but if we reach down into the 102 region, then maybe. And I mean, very opportunistic, but the 102 region would mean that we're taking out these highs. We're going to run up into the 113, 114 region, this bearish order block located right there, which I've obviously shortened just to make sure that the chart is nice and clean. I'm going to be deleting this mean threshold, as we know it's a mean threshold. Um, it's very, very hard to tell, I'll be honest with you guys. Buy stops taken, sell stops has failed to be taken, so that could be the next point of interest. As it looks very clean, it could go anywhere. It could go anywhere. I mean, having a look at the monthly time frame is very hard to gauge the next point of interest. But then when we have a look at the weekly time frame, we see this order block being met. Candle bodies roll off. We continue higher. We sell off. It's no imbalance. Relative equal lows. I do believe that if you were to continue to the upside, you could spike through those lows into 106.399 before running up into the highs. But it's very, very hard to tell. I mean, we've got a imbalance in price right there. So if we were to sell off, then it would create the necessary liquidity to run up into the highs right there. We do have an up close candle there that we could run up into. I mean, overall, it's very, very, very choppy. I mean, 106.399 is where my eyes is drawn to at this point in time. At the same time, 107.614 is the lower displacement to the fair value gap, or should I say the imbalance in price. I mean, if you was to go down to the daily time frame and have a look at what's been going on, I mean, yeah, tell me about it. Monday opened similar to GBP USD, opened, ran off into the reclaimed bullish order block. Because remember, it's supposed to price action, it's supposed to reject, run off, which it did, but it eventually sold off, took the lows out, rolled off into the bearish order block, sold off, failed to create the lows, but we did create the lows there. We're just banging in and around these ranges here, and I do believe that with Thursday and Friday's candle being bullish, after stops has been taken on the daily, right? I mean, you could argue and say that stops was taken there, but I wouldn't say that this stop right there is significant to 1, 2. It's not significant at all, right? And it wasn't taken in the sense where it ran on it, but it did peak its head below waters. So I do believe that these highs are too clean. I'll be honest with you, they're too clean. It's very hard to tell. It'll come to my head. I'll be aiming for this pool of liquidity. And I'll be aiming for 107,614. 107,614, which would be my next point of interest, which would be a run on buy stops. But I'll be going in neutral. It's very hard to gauge at this point in time. And we'll see how it plays out. We have a look at the hourly time frame. Have a look at how the week has progressively booked. And as you can see, we've got the highs of the week, the lows head below waters, running off into the equilibrium of the week. We've got that open highs, lows, and we've been creating progressive highs, high, low, taken up, high. But remember, this is the overall high that has failed to be taken. So in the near future, it's going to be very hard to gauge, tricky to gauge where price action is most likely to go next. As you can see, price action respected this bullish order block right there. Highs, lows, highs, mean threshold, didn't reach into that region. Subsequent down close candles, rally, test. Do something like this. Test. This test, buy stops. One more time, it didn't actually get there, and then we run up into these highs. So this would be an area of importance going into the future. And in order for me to consider price action trading up into the buy stops, I'd like to see this area at 106,923 respected. I am neutral, but I would like to see, even if we were to retrace to the downside, yet run off into those highs there. Actually, we won't go into that. That is it.